Can't you just see this bushy-haired guy, rock and roll legend Rod Stewart? Well, this was his car. I'm a huge Rod Stewart fan and a crazy car guy, but this is the most unbelievable car. It was built on a Lincoln Continental Mark V chassis and engine. It was not a replica, built to be like a Gatsby car of the 30s. What it was a car that nobody else could have. It was a car arriving at the red carpet, like with Farrah Fawcett, with Sylvester Stallone when Rocky was big. You know, it was the car to arrive in. Like, for example, it has a Waterford crystal ashtray. It has etching on the windows. It's very, very luxurious leather seats. Pipes coming out the sides, real wire wheels. Just a shocking car to look at. Honestly, when I'm driving down the McLeod Trail in it and arrive at a service station, it's like the circus arrived. It is so visual. It's just, and that's what they intended when they made it. And of course, that it be so limited in numbers is the reason the rich wanted it, because it's something no other rich person could own.
Why do you want to get rid of such a beautiful car that you obviously have such a big attachment to?
Claire, I have a lot of trouble answering that question. I can't answer it to myself. It's my son's auction sale. Of course, I have to have a reserve on it that's unrealistic, or I would be betraying my son by putting a high price on. I know it will never, ever, ever be able to be replaced. You'll never see another one. Why am I selling it? Jeff, I think I'm going to not sell this.
Uh-oh.
Little bit of history on this car. Clenay Series 1. These were cars that were owned by the cream of the crop. And this one was owned by Rod Stewart. It's number 63 of 250 cars. Clenay is arguably the most styled automobile series ever built. Each limited production model was conceived, designed, and produced by a small team of dedicated men and women in Santa Barbara, California through the 1970s and 80s. Very distinctive 1930s styling on these cars. Roadster vehicle that performs to more modern day standards. Total of 250 factory authorized cars were built. There was Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, and Series 4 Clenay coachwork cars. Again, this is a Series 1. This is early Series 1, 35,000 miles, owned by Rod Stewart. So it has some prominence to it as far as previous ownership. It's here to be sold, and what an opportunity for you today.
Okay, here we go. Lot 167. 1 minute, 70, 50. Hit at 50,000, 50,000, 40. Hit at 40,000, 40, go ahead at 30, 30, go ahead, 30,000, 30, 35,000, 30, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40. Hit at 35, 40,000, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40. Hit 40,000, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 37, 5. Hit 37, 5, 37, 5, 35, 37, 5, 37, 5, 35, 37, 5, 35, 37, 5, 35, 37, 5, 37, 5, 37, 5. Hit 37, 5, 36,000 then. Hit at 35, 36,000, 35, 36,000, 35, 36,000, 35, 36,000. Hit 36,000, 35, 36,000, 35, 36,000, 35, 6. Hit 36,000, 35, 36,000, 35, 36,000, 35, 6. Hit 36,000, 35, 36.
Low mileage or factory new examples of these cars in the U.S. pull six figures all day long. This is a chance to get into a Clenay. Again, a very rare car that was built like the American Rolls-Royce. These were owned by the cream of the crop, Rod Stewart particularly owning that particular car. But Farrah Fawcett, Sylvester Stallone, Pee-wee, did you have, talk about big names, did you ever have a Clenay? No, he never did. Well, you could, because the money is right on this car. Get in on it. 1978 Clenay.
So from DETOMASOs to Corvettes to Willys Jeeps to Mercedes, and then throw old school, flashy, old money in there with an old Clinet. My father is as big a Rod Stewart fan as you could possibly believe, and he loves, you know, neat and unusual vehicles and very rare stuff. To see this Rod Stewart car come up and then to see himself sitting in it, that was a no-brainer. He was buying this car, no ifs, ands, or buts. It didn't sell in our auction, and I know he doesn't have any issue with that, because the amount of interest that has come after the sale on the car is quite remarkable. He still hasn't sold it because, believe it or not, I think he's interviewing buyers. He's not going to sell that car to just anybody. They have to love it like he does, and it won't find another home until he approves.
Let's see who buys lot number 148, 1934 Ford 3-window coupe. Obviously not the factory original orange, but a very, very nice orange that it is. This car has been done. Spectacular. Air conditioning, power windows, all the features that you want are here. Power trunk, power locks, TCI chassis, independent front and 4-link rear suspension. Generation 3 small block Chevy underneath there, and the 9-inch Ford rear end, which is very, very common to these types of designs. And of course, to combine it all, the 4L60E transmission. So moves along great. Again, it's another one of these vehicles that you've got the vintage style, but you've got a lot of modern conveniences.
Okay, 148. What do you want to start at? 60, 50,000, 50,000. Hit a 50,000, 59, 50,000, 50, 40. Hit a 40,000, 40,000. Hit a 40,000, 40, 40 down, 40,000, 40, 40, 40,000, 40.
85 grand inside of that car. That's the investment that the person has put into it to get it the way it is now. I can assure you, you're going to get a deal.
40,000, 30,000. What do you got? What do you got? 40. Thank you. 45,000, 45,000, 42,500. Hit a 42,500. Hit a 42,500, 42,500. Hit a 42,000, made it 500, made it 42,500, made it 42,500, made it 42,500, made it 41. Hit a 41,000, made it 41, made it 41,000, made it 41, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41. Hit 40 now, made it 41. Hit 41,000, made it 41, made it 40, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41. Hit 40,000, made it 41. Hit 41,000, made it 41, made it 40, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41. Hit 41, made it 40 now, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41,000, made it 40, made it 41,000, 41,000, 41,000.
As PB was saying, $85,000 into what you see in front of you, and that is really a no-expense spare. This is done beautifully. A gorgeous car. Great color on this car. Beyond all the other power conveniences, it comes with a custom stereo with a 10-stacker CD player as well. So you've got some great tunes you can take along with you. And that's all Italian leather interior finishing. So they haven't cheaped out on the interior finishing. This is done at a very high value.
40,000 bid, 41,000, 41,000. How about 40,500? 40,500. Hit a 40 bid 5, and I'm at 40 bid 5, I'm at 40 bid 5, I'm at 40,000, I'm at 500, I'm at 40 bid 5, bid 40 bid 5, I'm at 40 bid 5. Roll it out at 40,000 bid 500. Hit a 40 bid 500, I'm at 40 bid 500, I'm at 40,000, I'm at 40 bid 5, I'm at 40,000 bid 5, and I'm at 40 bid 5. 45,000 bid, the car's on reserve selling. Hit a 45, bid 46,000. Hit a 45, bid $46,000. Roll it out at 45, bid 46,000. Bid 45, bid 46. Sold. You bought it 45,000.
Sold.
257 your buyer.
Now I'm finally in the driver's seat. It's taken me all day to convince Jeremy of this. But you know what this kind of reminds me of, Jeremy?
A little bit about the Thelma and Louise car, I'm pretty sure. Let's take the plunge into commercials here on Shaw TV.
Enthusiast Limited specializes in finding, acquiring, or selling special interest and collector cars from around the world for our clients. We have an international network of buyers and sellers of collector and exotic cars. Enthusiast Limited. You are watching the 2014 Okotoks Collector Car Auction Highlight Show. Sponsored by the 41st Annual Okotoks Collector Car Auction, May 22nd through the 24th, 2015.
...2011 Corvette shows up, and this is the high horsepower, 500 horsepower convertible. Rare car. Chevrolet might never make a big block 427 car like that ever again. In fact, they say they won't. So that was a neat car, super low miles, hardly been driven.
If you've been waiting for a Corvette all your life, here's an opportunity to own a brand new 2011 with just 3,900 kilometers, the Grand Sport. You're going to pay the list price of new. You get an opportunity to buy a brand new car at a fraction of the original dealer cost. 430 horse, it speaks for itself. Convertible, triple black Corvette.
Okay, here we go. It is lot number 169. Would have been at 8, hit it at 60. Hit a 60, down at a 60, hit 50. 50, 40. Hit 40,000, 40, 30, 35,000. Hit a 35, 30, 35, 35, 30, 35, 35, 35,000, 40,000, 35, 40. Hit 35, 40, he's on at 35, 40, he's on straight away there. Louis at 35, 40. Hit a 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 40. Hit a 35,000, 40, 40, 45, 5, 40, 45, 45, 45, 45. Hit a 40, 45,000, 45, 40, where you at? 45, 50. Hit a 50,000.
2011.
You got to be 50 over
4,000
there.
kilometers.
55. 52.5. I'll do that. 52.5. 52,500. 55,000. Hit a 55. Hit a 52.5. 55. How about 54,000? 54. Got 52.5. 54. The car is selling 54,000. You want back in? You sure? 52.5, 54, 52.5, and a 54, 52.5, and a 54.
Where do you find a brand new Corvette for 54 grand?
You sure? 54. Sold. 52.5, 52,500.
So we're a collector car auction. Here you've got a car that's, pretty new and very, very contemporary. But how do you turn away a Corvette in a collector car auction? They're icons, and this, even amongst the Corvette world, was a rare car because it was the wide body, big block convertible. So it was a special car unto itself. 91 Porsche Turbo, very rare car, very desirable car, single turbo, two-wheel drive, air-cooled engine, becoming one of the most collectible European cars on the market. Was thrilled to have that car in the sale.
Lot number 163, 1991 Porsche 964 Turbo in cobalt blue. Beautiful interior, white with the blue ribbing, very, very nice. Sets the car off beautifully. Has upgraded stereo head unit, but original comes with it, so you have the correct combination. Alcantara steering wheel. Original also comes with the car. It's been upgraded to H2 headlights, upgraded to H4 away from the H2 headlights. Meticulously maintained vehicle brought into Canada in 2005 with 33,000 original miles. U.S. title is also included. Clean car history and a copy of the original window sticker from White Allen Porsche. 1991 Porsche 964 Turbo.
Okay, here we go on it. Would have been out at 75,000. It is 75, 50. It is 50,000. 50,000. 50,000. 40, 45,000. It is 40, 45,000. 40, 45, 40, 45,000. 40, 45,000. 40, 45. It is 45,000. It 45,000. 40, 45,000. 40, 45,000. 40, 45,000. 40, 45. It 45,000. 40, 45. 40, 45. 45,000. 45. 45. 42.5. How about that? 42.5. Hit 42.5, now 45,000. Hit 45, and a bit 45. Louis here, a bit 45. He's out there at 45, and a bit 45,000. Hit 45, and a bit 45,000, a bit 45, and a bit 47.5, bit 47.5. Al 47.5. Hit 47,000, a bit 5, 47.5. I got 47.50. Hit 50,000, 52.5. Hit 52,500. Hit 52.5. You're both out now. My man's on at 50,000. Hit 52.5. Hit 52.5. 55,000. Hit a 55. Hit a 54. Hit a 54,000. Hit 54,000. Hit 54. 55. Hit 55,000. Hit 55. Hit 55. 56. 57. Hit 57,000. Hit 58,000. Hit a 58,000. Hit 58,000. 58,000. Hit 57 now, but at 8,000, but at 57, 8,000. Hit 57 now, but at 8,000, all but at 58,000. Hit 58,000, 57.5, and now 58,000. Al, they're both out, 58, now 58.5. Now 59,000. Thank you, 59.5, 59,500. Thank you, 60,000 even, 60,000 even. Now 60,500. Now 60,500. Is the car selling? It is unreserved and selling at 60,500 to you. 60,500 to you. Thank you. 61,000 back there. Thank you. 61.5 here. 61,500. Thank you. 61.5. Now 62,000. 62,000. 62.5. 62,500, 63,000, 63.5, 63.5, 63,500, 60, what do you got? 65,000, oh, he's giving you some buckshot. 65, 66,000, you sure? Well, thanks for your help. Sold over here at 65,000. 356 is your buyer.
I grew up around old air-cooled 911s and 911 turbos, and to have the contemporary looking with the smooth bumpers, but still very much the old Porsche character and feel, that's what the 91 turbo kind of exhibits, and they're fast becoming a very, very collectible car. And in the mid-60s, I suggest that that car was very well bought. 91 Porsche Turbo is fast becoming one of the most collectible and sought after European cars on the market right now. The old body style with some more smooth bumpers, but the air-cooled single turbo engine, very, very desirable car, very quick, lovely car to drive, very usable, and becoming very sought after.
Claire, it was so nice of the Okotoks Collector's Car Auction to allow me to show off my 1990 Ferrari 348.
Jeremy, let's be honest, you drive a 94 Ford Escort with the back smashed in. You guys are watching the 40th annual Okotoks Collector Car Auction on Shaw TV Calgary.
I hate you, Claire.
Let's go to commercial.
Okotoks Collector Car Auction on Shaw TV is brought to you by Jack Carter Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
You are watching the 2014 Okotoks Collector Car Auction Highlight Show. Sponsored by the 41st Annual Okotoks Collector Car Auction, May 22nd through the 24th, 2015.
Look, I figured the only way to properly introduce this 1972 Pantera was with the classic walk. This vehicle is a 1972 DETOMASO Pantera with complete GT5 body and original magnesium wheels. This car went under a complete restoration, includes a 427 SB Ford motor with 525 horsepower. The original 351 Cleveland engine is included with this. It's got a new racing clutch. It's brand new Pirello P0 tires with correct 345 rears. This straight pipe exhaust vehicle is the embodiment of metal. This car is going to fly for whoever buys it here today.
How about a Pantera? 1972 Pantera. This car went under a complete restoration that includes just about everything, including a 427 pushing out 525 horsepower. Upgraded stereo with iPhone jack, AC blows cold. You've got common conveniences that you want in a vehicle that is absolutely exceptional.
All right, what have been out it? Here we go on this one. Incredible car again. What have been out it? Where do you want to start it now? What have been out it? 90, 80, 70,000, 60,000. Hit a 60,000, 60,000, 50,000. Hit a 50,000, 50. Hit a 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 52.5. Hit a 50,000, 52.5. Hit a 52.5, 52.5, 50,000, 52.5. Hit 52.5, 50,000, 52.5, 52.5, 50,000, 52.5. Hit 52,500. Hit 52.5, 50,000, 52.5, 52.5, 50,000, Hit 52,500. Hit 52.5, 52.5, 52,500, 52.5.
This thing has documentation back to 1993. The consignor guarantees everything works, starts right up, and this is a reliable vehicle that you can buy and enjoy. As I'm sure you're very familiar with, the Lamborghini Countach, the values of those cars has absolutely skyrocketed, if not tripled in value over the last few years. These are the next cars set on stage for a huge value gain. This might be a good opportunity for you to get into something that will see a huge boost in the coming years.
Hit 52.5, 52.5, 50,000, 52.5, 52.5, 52.5, 51. Hit 51,000, 51. Hit 51, 51,000, 51,000, 51,000, Hit 51,000, 51, 51,000. Push it out slowly at 51,000, 51,000. Hit 50 now, 51, 51,000, 51,000. We'll just push it out and move on to the next one.
So I had a call on the 72 Pantera by an airline pilot that said he wasn't going to be at the event. The car rolls off the block, and maybe an hour later, I get a tap on the shoulder saying, "Hey, I'm here about the Pantera." And we struck a deal on that car on the block. It had left, but we did a deal right while the auction was going on. He was sorry he missed the bidding, but we sold the car on the day on the block. I got a call about a week before the sale, a week and a half before the auction. The seller, a very good friend of mine, saying the car's at the body shop dismantled. I said, "What are you talking about? That car has to show up." He said, "Well, I wanted it painted. It had to be perfect for the next guy." Just shows this, you know, the quality of care that's gone into this car. I said, "But that's not acceptable. The car has to be there." So he got on the phone and he caused a big ruckus saying, "You have to have this car done." And it showed up looking like a brand new car. What a buy. And the DETOMASO Pantera, in my mind, is still a very undervalued supercar when you consider what vintage Lamborghinis and Ferraris are going for now of the same era. That is still a very attainable car. $70,000 is a lot of money, but I believe in a few short years that'll be a $170,000 car and more. It's that kind of car. Probably the prettiest car in the sale in my mind, as far as being very vintage and very collectible, was the '61 Corvette. I mean, just everything about that car was perfect. Red on white coves, just a stunning car. The carpet was perfect. Everything about that car was restored, absolutely meticulous. And you want to talk about icons and investment quality, the '61 Vet, that was the car.
I mean, what do you say? Lot number 159, needs little introduction. 1961 Corvette, less than 1,000 miles since the full restoration. Outstanding example of a true classic, full and complete restoration to Concours level. You can go and show this car and win awards at the highest level. Numbers matching, this is as fine as it gets. These are the cars when you go to some of the premier sales, not that Okotoks isn't a premier sale, but we understand when we go south, high value vehicles, this is exactly what you will find there. Absolutely impossible to duplicate this car. Original numbers matching 61 Corvette.
Here we go, the vet. What about it? 100,000. It is 100,000. All about it. What about 100,000? All about 170. It is 70,000. All about 79. It is 70,000. All about 79. It is 70. 60. 62.5. It is 62.5. It is 62.5. It is 60,000. All about 2.5. It is 62.5. It is 65,000. It is 65,000. All about 65. It is 65,000. It is 65,000. It is 5. All about 65,000. It is 65. It is 65,000. All about 65. It is 65,000. It is 65. It is 65,000.
Shouldn't even be a consideration at that price.
It's 65,000. It is 5. It is 65,000. It is 5. It is 65. It is 65,000. It's 65,000. It is 5.
It's impossible. Impossible to find another like this again. A numbers matching, all true. This is the correct car. This is what you buy. Forget your RSPs and everything else. This is what you need to buy. High praise for the consignor from Pee Wee, and he's right. This comes out of a collection with the premier of premier vehicles.
62.5. 65,000. It is 65,000. It is 5. It is 65. It is 67.5. It is 67.5. It is 67.5. 70. It's 70 now, but it's 70,000. All about 70. Louis, it is Al's way at 67.5. 67.5. 70. It's 67.5. It is 70 now, but it's 67.5. It is 70,000. It is 67.5. 70. It's 67.5. 70,000. It's 67.5. It is 70 now, but it's 67.5. 70. It's 70,000. All about it is 70. It's 70,000. It is 67.5. It is 70 now, but it's 70. It's 70,000. Roll it out at 70,000 now. Where's your man? 70,000. It's 70,000. All about it is 70. It is 70,000. It is 67.5. It is 70,000. All about it is 70 now, but it's 70. Roll it out. It's 70. Roll it out. That's 75, 80,000, 75, 80. Roll it out. Roll the car out. 80,000, 80,000. Roll it out, guys. It at 80,000. It at 80. It is 75. It at 80. It is 75, 80. It 80,000. It is 75, 80. It 80,000. Out of it is 75. It at 80,000. Out of it 80. It is 75. It at 80. It is 75. It at 80. It is 75, 80. It 80,000. Out of it is 75.
You'll have to travel a long distance before you find another example like that.
You know, some people have a difficult time believing that something from 1961 can sell for $80,000 plus. But when they're this fine and in this type of condition, actually that's a bargain, because you could not replace that car for that money. Find a good car with good bones and then put the time and effort into a numbers matching car and make it that good. I think that car was absolutely exquisite, beautiful car, and in my mind, well sold and well purchased.
That wraps up the 40th annual Okotoks Collector Car Auction. Jeremy, we saw some incredible cars here in this auction. There were a lot of happy buyers.
And a lot of happy sellers, as well as some great cars went and have found themselves some new homes. For all of us at Shaw TV, we want to thank the volunteers. For Claire Hanna, my name is Jeremy Ballantyne. We hope to see you next year at the Okotoks Collectors Car Auction.
We will see you next year.